Um, for today's project, we have the topic of what causes gravity. I'm talking about a mystery. In this case, like the presentation that we had in the class. This is going to be an explanation of a mystery of the universe. I mean, of the space in general. So the question is, what causes gravity? The gravity, as we know, is one of the four forces of the universe. Um, One is the gravity. The other three are the electromagnetism, the the strong and weak nuclear force or interactions, and this is a quantum mechanics physics point of view. The relativity says another thing, that is that the gravity is caused by the mass of the matter. Why? Because because if you have a really massive piece of matter, it's supposed that it curves the space time. So both dimensions are curved, so it occurs that something that is also massive in a way, they interact, and they, for example, a planet, like for example us with the sun, because they are two pieces of mass that are massive, and we have an interaction, a gravity interaction. So but we don't know what really causes in the theory that I'm going to talk about. One of the most important theories of the physics right now is the standard model. The standard model is a table or a chart of full of particles. Those particles are the elemental ones. Those particles, some of them are a mix of the elemental one, and other try to explain the four forces. I mean, three forces, because we don't know the particle that causes gravity. We know what causes the other three forces that I just mentioned at first. Um, for example, for electromagnetism, we have the photon that keeps keeps communicated the charges, all the positive and negative charges of the universe, and the photon makes sure that they know that both exist. For example, they he makes that a negative charge n- know that there is another negative particle, and they separate. Or if there's a different particle with a different charge, for example, a proton, they get together as the for as one of the equations of Maxwell says. So for weak nuclear force, we have the boson W and boson C, and for the strong one, we have the gluon, that is another kind of boson. Uh, Also, the photon is a boson, and also we have the boson of Higgs that gives to the matter mass. It gives the matter the mass that we can measure. Um, so all is explained by a field that is stimulated by these particles that I just mentioned. So in theory, it's supposed that there is a field for all these forces and interactions that have a particle, but we don't know what field and what particle are what causes gravity. That's the mystery. We don't know which one. Theoretically, in theory, and we like to believe that there is a particle called graviton, that is like a photon. They have mass equals 0. They have complete spins. For example, the photon have one spin, and the photon have a spin of one spin, and a complete spin, and the graviton have two. But it says it's supposed that it can it can have the same speed of light, like the same speed of a photon. So we also think that there is a field, the gravitational field, that is stimulated by this particle, and that's what causes gravity. But we don't know. If we know what causes, or we discover in the LHC, if we know and we find these particles, um, we will complete the standard model, and it will explain all the forces that we know, all the forces of the universe. So that's the mystery. That's what we don't know. We don't know a lot of things, but that's one of them. So